Imagine spending years being harassed by debt collectors for someone else's mistakes, and then one day discovering that someone else is actually your abusive boss. What would you do? Well, I didn't just imagine it. I lived it. And my revenge? Let's just say he never saw it coming. If you've ever dreamed of watching karma come full circle, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and buckle up, because this is one of the most satisfying workplace revenge stories you'll ever hear. When mobile phones first became popular in my country back in 2004, I was fresh out of high school. My parents scraped together enough money to buy me my very first phone. It wasn't anything fancy, just a bulky second-hand Nokia. But I loved it. I promised myself, one day, I'd buy a brand new phone with my own hard-earned money. Fast forward to my first year of college. After years of excelling in academics, I had won several awards, including one from a national bank. That prize money was my ticket to finally buy something new. A Sony Ericsson K300i with a premium SIM card. What I didn't realize at the time was that this number had a history, a bad history. By the third day, the calls began. First, it was a bank, then another, all asking for a man named Bitsa. I didn't know him. I didn't want to know him. But over the years, that phone number turned into a curse. Debt collectors, banks, shady institutions, they all wanted a piece of this guy. And because of a simple SIM card, I was stuck cleaning up his mess. At first, I'd politely explain, "Wrong number, please update your records." But the calls never stopped. Blocking wasn't easy back then. Every new phone meant starting the block list all over again. This man's ghost followed me. By 2010. I had graduated and landed my first job. That's where I met Bits. Bits was a project manager, and if there was ever a boss straight out of hell, it was him. He thrived on chaos. He'd set impossible deadlines, then move the goalpost just when you thought you were safe. His emails flooded our inboxes at all hours of the night, demanding perfection or threatening dismissal. If a project succeeded, he took the credit. If it failed, he tore into us, publicly, viciously, humiliating people in front of the entire office. He scheduled meetings during lunch breaks and after hours, dragging us away from any shred of a personal life. People cried in the bathrooms. People quit. And he smiled through it all, feeding on our misery like some twisted vampire. I hated him. Everyone did. But he was untouchable. Or so we thought. In 2012, our company merged with a parent firm. Suddenly, we got shiny new infrastructure, Microsoft Outlook, company-wide directories, and org charts. That's when I saw it. His full name, Bitsa. My heart stopped. Could it be? Could the man who had ruined countless workdays also be the same shadow who had haunted my phone for nearly a decade? I needed confirmation. So I reached out to an old mentor, someone who had coached students in our hometown for decades. With just a few pointed questions, my suspicions were confirmed. The monster of a boss who had made my professional life a living nightmare was the very same Bitsa who had given my number to every bank, every credit card company, every loan shark in existence. The man who had tormented me facelessly for years was now tormenting me face to face. And suddenly, the game changed. By then, I had spent nearly 10 years gritting my teeth through unwanted calls. But now? Now I saw the perfect opportunity. I didn't just want the calls to stop. I wanted him to feel every ounce of frustration he had caused me, and hundreds of others. I wanted him to pay. So I unblocked every single number. More than 150 debt collectors, banks, and agencies. My phone exploded with calls, sometimes 15 to 18 a day. And this time, I didn't hang up. When they asked for Bitsa, I smiled and said, "Oh yes, I know him." But he changed his number. "Let me give it to you." And then I handed them the direct line to his shiny new office phone. Just in case he tried to dodge, I sweetened the deal by also giving them his manager's number. The results were delicious. These agencies had been chasing him for years. He owed over $200,000. Loans taken in his name, his wife's, his parents', even his uncles and aunts. He had left a trail of destruction, and no one could find him. Until now. The collectors swarmed. His office phone rang off the hook. His manager's phone too. Stories started spreading around the office. Some said he screamed at people in hallways, accusing coworkers of setting him up. Others said he tried to deny everything, but the evidence was overwhelming. 2 months later, he was gone, fired, vanished. No farewell, no sympathy, no second chances. And me? For the first time in nearly a decade, silence. My phone finally stopped ringing. After years of being haunted, after years of being treated like dirt, justice had finally landed squarely where it belonged. He thought he was untouchable. But the ghosts of his past, those debts, every time I think back to those endless phone calls, every time I remember the sound of his voice berating me in meetings, I smile, because in the end, he couldn't escape himself. You know, they say karma has no deadline, and in this case, it took almost 10 years. But when it arrived, it was brutal, poetic, and oh so satisfying. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma comes knocking, louder than a debt collector at your boss's door.